On the morning of Saturday, February 28, 2026, the first day of the Iranian work week in the middle of Ramadan, American and Israeli intelligence confirmed that Khamenei and between 5 and 10 of Iran's most senior military and political leaders had convened at a compound in downtown Tehran. American and Israeli commanders had originally planned to strike at night under the cover of darkness, but a senior defense official confirmed there was a deliberate decision to accelerate the timeline because the gathering of Iran's top leadership presented a target of opportunity that could not be allowed to pass. At approximately 9:27 in the morning Tehran time, the skies over Iran erupted. Roughly 200 Israeli fighter jets, in the largest military flyover in the history of the Israeli Air Force, launched a synchronized assault on over 500 targets across western and central Iran in full coordination with the United States military. The first wave of Israeli strikes was aimed directly at Iran's political and security nerve center in Tehran. The Supreme Leader Compound, the Presidential Palace, the Ministry of Intelligence, the Ministry of Defense, and the headquarters of the National Security Council were all hit in rapid succession. Israeli aircraft dropped approximately 30 bombs on Khamenei's compound alone, targeting the fortified complex with devastating precision, and satellite imagery released hours later showed the sprawling residence reduced to smoldering rubble, with black smoke still rising from the wreckage. Khamenei was reportedly underground at the time of the strike, but according to Israeli Channel 12's Amit Sefel, a journalist with known close ties to Prime Minister Netanyahu, the supreme leader was not inside his own designated bunker, leaving him fatally exposed when the bombs tore through the layers of concrete above him. Simultaneously, Israeli forces struck 2 additional locations in Tehran, where intelligence had confirmed separate gatherings of senior Iranian officials, meaning 3 high-value leadership targets were hit at the same moment in a coordinated decapitation strike unlike anything the modern Middle East had ever witnessed. Among the senior officials confirmed killed alongside Khamenei were Ali Shamkhani, the Secretary of Iran's Defense Council and Khamenei's personal security advisor, IRGC commander Mohammad Pakpour, who led Iran's primary military force, and Defense Minister Aziz Nasirzadeh, who oversaw the country's long-range missile production. Also eliminated were Mohammad Shirazi, who had served as the head of the Supreme Leader Military Office since 1989 and was the direct link between Khamenei and every senior commander in Iran's armed forces, and Salah Assadi, the intelligence chief responsible for shaping Iran's strategy against both Israel and the United States. A senior United States defense official confirmed to Fox News that 40 Iranian security and regime figures were killed in Israel's opening strike on downtown Tehran alone, a staggering blow that effectively severed the head of the Islamic Republic's entire command structure in a single morning. While Israel targeted the regime's leadership, the United States military launched its own parallel operation, Operation Epic Fury, focusing on Iran's ballistic missile sites, nuclear infrastructure, air defense systems, and IRGC military installations across the country, from the air and from naval assets positioned throughout the region. President Donald Trump confirmed Khamenei's death on Truth Social that afternoon, writing that Khamenei, whom he called one of the most evil people in history, had been unable to avoid American and Israeli intelligence and tracking systems, and that working closely with Israel, there was nothing the supreme leader could have done to escape. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said the operation had been planned for months in close coordination with Washington, declared that there were growing signs that Khamenei was no longer alive and that his compound had been completely destroyed, along with Revolutionary Guard commanders and senior nuclear officials inside it.
Israeli ambassador to Washington, Yitzhak Leitner, subsequently confirmed the death to United States officials, and multiple Israeli television networks reported that a photograph of Khamenei's body recovered from the rubble of his destroyed compound had been shown to both President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. A senior United States defense official described the strike as a massive, wildly bold daytime attack that caught the senior Iranian leadership completely off guard, a Saturday morning during Ramadan and on the Jewish Sabbath, at a time when Tehran never expected its enemies to launch the largest combined aerial assault the region had ever seen. The success of the decapitation strike was made possible by years of Israeli intelligence penetration into the highest levels of the Iranian regime, a capability dramatically demonstrated in July 2024 when Israel planted a bomb inside a Revolutionary Guard's guest house in Tehran that killed the political leader of Hamas. Iran's proxy network, which Khamenei had spent decades building across Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Gaza under the banner of what he called the Axis of Resistance, had already been devastated over the previous 2 years. Hezbollah was decimated, Assad's regime fell, and Hamas was shattered, leaving the Islamic Republic more isolated than at any point since the 1979 revolution. The killing of Khamenei marked the first time Israel had directly assassinated a sitting head of state of a sovereign nation, and it sent shockwaves through every capital in the Middle East and beyond, as the 86-year-old cleric who had ruled Iran since 1989 was gone in a single devastating morning. Inside Iran, the reaction was deeply divided. State media broadcast pro-government rallies with mourners carrying Khamenei's portrait, but CNN, the Daily Telegraph, and Iran International all published verified videos of ordinary Iranians laughing, cheering, and chanting "Death to Khamenei" and "Death to the Islamic Republic" in the streets of Tehran itself. With much of the IRGC's senior command structure also destroyed, no successor publicly named, and the constitutional body responsible for selecting a new supreme leader unable to convene while airstrikes continued overhead, the Islamic Republic faced its most existential crisis since the revolution that had created it 47 years earlier. The strike on Khamenei's compound was not an act of impulse or improvisation. It was the culmination of months of painstaking intelligence work, joint American-Israeli operational planning, and a strategic buildup of the largest United States military force deployed to the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. In the end, the man who had called for the destruction of Israel and the humiliation of America for more than 30 decades, who had overseen the arming of Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, who had ordered the massacre of 30,000 of his own people just weeks before, was buried beneath the rubble of the very fortress he believed would keep him safe forever. And as the smoke rose over Tehran and celebrations erupted among Iranian exiles from Los Angeles to London to Hamburg, one undeniable truth settled over the Middle East. The supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran was dead, and the world he had built was crumbling with him.